Hi, my name is Zach McFarland. This is Simon Schuparski, that's Ethan Sandberg, that's Andrew Markwins, and that's Hudson Mateo. And together, we're coming together to create Topline.
It was January. The lacrosse season was coming around the corner, but my only problem was I had no lacrosse gear. My parents told me that if I was to even consider playing the sport, that I would have to buy all the gear all by myself, which would come pretty expensive, around $2,000 for me to look extra drippy. So the only thing I had to sell was a Kobe Bryant sports card that I got before he passed, which I could sell at $2,000. So the only place I decided to list it on was eBay. After I listed it on eBay, I finally found a buyer who bought it from me, but eBay took 15%.
That is where we come in. Topline is an online marketplace dedicated to connecting teenage collectors buy and sell collectible items such as sneakers, watches, cards, anything else that can be considered collectible. Our first competitor is eBay. eBay is an indirect competitor. The benefits of using eBay is they sell a lot of volume. They sell millions of products globally. And you also, when a seller posts products on eBay, you're more likely to get a lot of views on product versus selling on something like Instagram or Facebook where our marketplace is located. The cons, however, for eBay is fees vary. As mentioned before, fees on eBay can vary anywhere from 9 to 30%, which is crazy. There's also a lack of transparency and communication on eBay. eBay has certain filters in their messaging system where if you discuss certain information or talk about certain things, it'll completely block off your communication with the seller, so you won't be able to talk to them about buying the item anymore. Another big problem with eBay is verification and product condition. Many times, a seller on eBay will claim this product is in pristine condition, it's new. But in reality, some products can come with scratches, dents, and other things that may hinder the value of the product. Our second competitor is a direct competitor by the name of StockX. The pros of StockX is it is very simple to find products. You just type it in, it shows right up. You also get a historical analysis of products when using StockX. You can see when the price of the item has been the highest, when it's been the lowest, and that can help you to determine whether or not it's a good investment. It is also exclusive to collectibles like us, which makes it a direct competitor. The cons, however, is the verification is extremely insecure. Last year there was a massive lawsuit to StockX because they had so many fake items going through their company that it was determined, and the case was settled, saying that they could not guarantee authenticity anymore. Additionally, the fees are crazy as well. There's a minimum of a $9 fee and an additional 10% on any item you sell. There's also a long handling time. Items can take weeks or even months to come. And in my case, I didn't get an item at all from StockX. There's also 0% transparency on StockX, which means that you cannot talk to the seller, you don't know who the seller is, where they come from, or where they bought the product.
An example of our ideal customer persona is James Bondre. James is 15 years old and a student at VHS. In his off-season, he plays baseball and has no time to negotiate on his tier end. So, and also he's 15, so he doesn't have any source of income and can't afford eBay's hefty fees.
Our total addressable market is $445 million, which is the total amount of luxurious collectibles according to Statista. While our serviceable addressable market is $108 million, which we found is from taking the number of teenage collectors who have a household income of over $200,000. Because if they have a household income of anything less, we are determining that they will not be spending high amounts of money on collectibles.
So why us? At Topline, we have lower selling fees than our competitors, such as eBay, which can take 15 to 30%. We have better personalization, so you know who you're buying from and if they're trustworthy and credible. We have a clear and straightforward buying and selling process, and we guarantee authenticity to make sure what you are buying is credible and legit. Another big focus of ours is our concierge service. Let's say you want to find a rare or more unique and expensive item or collectible, you could pay us and we can go find it for the best price for you. Another thing is we manually post other people's cards or other collectibles on our page so it reaches a bigger audience, and we handle all the negotiating to find a price that's right for you.
For revenue breakdown, we have, as mentioned before, competitors who charge an average of 15% for their fees. At Topline, we're planning to charge 6%. Also we offer, for sellers, we offer a $45 quarterly subscription that gets a priority in our pages. Fees go down from 6% to 4%, and maximum amount of posted products doubles from 5 to 10. Our main channels as of right now are Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and Craigslist, which allows us to get more exposure and in return get us more conversations and more knowledge about our products.
We started our marketing campaign by getting sponsorships by small creators on Instagram, in which we found did not work, since we're also competing against them to sell our products. We ended up going to boosting posts, which would cost $750 annually, which would get us around 55,000 to 140,000 impressions, or views, or tabs, right, when they see our product. And we'd also spend $144 annually, or $12 monthly on Instagram verification, which makes us get more DMs since we're more credible and a more trustworthy source.
For custom goods, we have $20 per shipping and insurance, which varies by product, size, and value, and $0 to $30 certification. $0 would be in the case if this already has item authenticated, and we have all the needed receipts and certificates. $30 would be if we need to set up the product to get authenticated. As Jenna has mentioned before, we have $12 monthly for Instagram and Facebook to verify, and $730 for marketing. Also, for revenue predictions in year one, we plan to make around $26,000, which $16,000 of the dollars would be a net profit, and the $5,000 would go to marketing and stock. Year 3, this is where we try to implement our own website. So we will make $56,000 in revenue, and $17,000 of that would be a net profit. Year 5 would be $95,500 in revenue, and $29,000 of net profit, which would be got by increasing stock and adding more features to the website.
So our goal for MVP was to get a total of $1,500 in revenue, 1,000 followers, and a total number of 75 products sold. Our results are, we got $50 in revenue, a total of 606 followers, and 1 product sold. Although we didn't hit all our goals, we gained valuable information, and we think that our business can actually run successfully.
So what we're asking for is $7,500 in exchange for 33.3% equity of Topline. The capital usage is, firstly, we'll spend $1,140 in a liquidity cushion in case of emergency. There's also $5,800 in startup costs, which includes an LLC, a trademark, our annual marketing plan, and then additionally a startup inventory of $5,500. What this startup inventory will do for us is we'll probably buy a couple sneakers, a couple cars, and maybe a watch or two to get our page growing, and also to have items on it that we can sell and then flip. Our exit strategy is by year 5, we are planning to sell our company to other companies such as 24/7 Collectibles, which is a collectible shop next to Walmart in Lake Zurich, Highest Kicks, which is a local sneaker store in Barrington, and then also Rowell Jewelers, which is a jewelry store in South Barrington. What we plan to do is sell all of our inventory to them. Thank you for listening, and our bottom line is quality.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the MVP process and what you've learned, and anything that you might want to change from what you've learned with the MVP?
Yeah, so we learned how to negotiate with people, finding a good price. We also learned how to actually sell the item, shipping, and doing all that whole process.
And plus we also learned that only one place to post the item is not enough, so that's why we also started using OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, and Craigslist in order to sell and get more people to contact us, which in result across all 4 platforms we got about 50 to 55 conversations total.
Can you guys just clarify the kind of the service? I saw that you're asking for money for inventory. So are you actually buying the collectibles from people and then reselling them?
Mhm.
So you're not connecting people directly or acting as a gateway or?
Well, so what we're thinking is to initially get a bunch of items on our website, and then, or not our website, our page, and then have, like a full thing where people have a lot of variety and making it appealing to other people. We plan on after that, taking that money, and then, or taking the money from reselling it, and then growing bigger, and then doing like we initially said.
Okay, so let's just look 3 years ahead, that okay, so you wanna jumpstart the business with having some inventory, making some sales, getting some customers. You make that money, you start generating revenue. What do you see in 3 years? Is this more of like a Craigslist, eBay type model where you're connecting peer to peer and you're now a gateway, also charging percentage per sale? Or are you gonna continue to buy and validate and then resell?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think also, like we were talking about in the concierge service, a lot of teenagers, they don't have time to be able to sell their own products. So where we come in is with our concierge service, they can basically say, okay, I got this card, find out what it's worth, and sell it for me.
Okay, I like the concierge service, I think that separates you a little bit.
Thank you.
And great effort and energy, I think you seem like really into what you're doing, which is good. You didn't ask for any money for a website, so are you running the business on social? Are you gonna have a landing page? How are you gonna allow your customers to validate you before they use you as a service?
It starts all through social media and marketplaces, and then later down the line, as I said before, around year 3, this is where we will attempt to make our own website and also to add to the marketplaces that we are now.
Andrew, could I dig into a comment that you had made, that you learned how to negotiate? Because it sounds like, based upon that experience, that's one of the services that you're offering. Talk to us about that. What was that?
So, we just learned like the process of trying to get a good price for like the customer, like the person who has the car. It took some digging and like effort to like try to finalize on the price because some people wanted to sell it for higher, and our person who wanted to sell the car wasn't looking to sell it for that amount.
So how did you get them to agree? Walk us through that.
So we would DM them through DMs. We would talk to them, just find a price that we could both meet, like the millers, and then find out the price if it's okay with the person who has that.
Okay. Thank you.
I thought you guys had a great presentation. I like this idea because I know the marketplace is surging still from COVID. People having time to go through all their inventory. So I think it's smart to go into that industry. The question I had was about your verification process. You mentioned that one of your competitors ran into some trouble with false verifications, was my understanding. So I wanted to know where you're going to be doing the verification and if you checked on the timeline of that, because I know that a lot of those services were quite backed up from the surge in the marketplace.
So basically, the issue with StockX especially is, I'm sure you guys have kids who collect sneakers and probably bought a good pair of sneakers at some point. They ship like a couple million through their facility like every day. So, and they only have a couple people. So, they get like 10 seconds to verify it. However, what we're gonna do to make it better is we're gonna go to places like, let's just say, I'm gonna use sneakers as an example. Go to Highest Kicks, they don't need to verify it in 10 seconds and just like throw it back. They can kind of, take a look at it with like a UV light and make sure it's all real. So I think that's what StockX's biggest problem was.
Okay, and then how about for verification on the cards?
For cards, they are usually like, they're in a slab of like PSA or BGS, like grading companies. And those are just really easy to tell if they are verified correctly because they have a serial number on it. And they have a QR code on the back on PSA. And you can just click on that QR code and it brings you to their page with like the serial number. So it's easy to tell if they're verified.
Okay, thank you.
What's the experience of, you mentioned the sneaker store in town, to be able to verify whether it's real or not?
repeat the question?
Well, the verification process, I thought you mentioned you're gonna take the shoes to like that sneaker store in town to verify. What's their, I don't know, how are they able to say this is real or not? Is that their profession to do that or just sell sneakers?
Well, I mean, for Highest Kicks, you know, they sell like luxury sneakers and kind of like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Like Nike will release a sneaker with like there'll only be 1,000. So, and there'll be like, there's like ways to tell you with like a UV light, like the fake shoes from China, they'll be made with like a different material or like with a different machine. So it, you know, honestly, I can't really explain that process, but it's like they have a UV light and they can figure out like where it was made.
And they'll do it for free?
Yeah, usually they will, but you know, if we do it a lot, we're obviously gonna want to pay them because if they won't.
So you're, as an investor, we kind of want to see, when you get the, you know, the bootstrapping at the beginning and you guys need to get some revenue in and get to your next stage. If you guys get picked, I would focus a little bit more on what year 2 and 3 looks like after you've gotten through this early growth period, because it's not scalable as it is, right? So an investor wants to feel comfortable knowing, okay, we're bought into the team, the idea, but we're really here for 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, because that's the real vision. It's very attractive that you guys are willing to put in the sweat equity and really grind in the beginning, not asking for a lot, giving up. But year 5, you can't run the business this way, right? You need to kind of evolve and reach that next level. So spend a little bit more time on what that looks like, and then this is great at how you plan to get there, right? And you know, I would look at your numbers again too, because from year 1 to year 5, your net profit doesn't increase enough, right? You're asking for basically, you know, $7,500 for 33% of the company, and then year 5, your net profit is, what was it, 28,000? 29, I suppose. Right, so as an investor, they kind of want to see a little bit more of a return on their investment, especially 5 years out. So maybe look at that, incorporate, you know, what your business model will look like, and see how those numbers can scale up. Because I think maybe you created those numbers thinking you're going to be running the business the same way now as you will 5 years.
1 minute. One part of the presentation I really liked was the competitive analysis when you're looking through there. But one thing I would say as a pro of the eBay marketplace is it is a trusted marketplace in general. People will trust eBay, you know, to resolve disputes and things like that. How are you going? Again, these are things that people put a lot of you know, trust in. How are they going to trust you? How are you going to build that?
Well, after we get enough people that have bought stuff from our page, it kind of spreads around. They start getting trust from us.
Can I jump in? And then one of the things we mentioned before in our marketing plan is we're planning on spending money to verify our Instagram account. And, you know, if I'm being honest, not a lot of accounts have that right now. And I think that would definitely make us, like, if a customer comes in and sees that we're a verified account by Instagram, I think that'll give them a little more trust in us.
Last question. So what are your years in school here, and what are your prospects of moving forward next year with this and keeping the business going?
I'm a sophomore. We're all sophomores.
All sophomores.
Yeah, all
Okay. Are you looking to take this to the next level next year?
I am.
Who's gonna keep going? 1? 2? All right. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.